Hi and welcome to my Yule reading. This is the winter solstice, and the winter solstice, at least in the northern hemisphere, is a beautiful festivity because in ancient times people prayed 3 days because they prayed for the light to come back, and after 3 days they observed, oh, it is getting a little lighter. So then they celebrated the rebirth of the King of Light. And as we know, it is Christmas by then. So the church used this very old festivity that was celebrated and that has a similar meaning because the child of light is born. And in astrology, these cardinal points, like the winter solstice or the summer solstice, are points where you can see the energy that will be there in the next 3 months. So the energy that will be a theme in the next 3 months. And in this case, we have Venus conjunct Pluto opposing the moon. And Venus is retrograde, so it is about an internal journey that has to do with what are my values, what is true for me, and what do I have to transform. I mean, be rest assured that you have to transform. In the next 3 months will be a process of transformation in your relationships. And in my cards, this is pretty much the same because we have Pluto, we have message, we have vision quest, we have past, we have conviro mur. And as an extra card, we have Purifying Garden. And I start with the extra card because I would say, first and foremost, it is about a purification. I mean, the other name for Venus is Inanna. And Inanna is, in mythology, going down into the underground to her wounded sister, into the kingdom of her wounded sister Ereshkigal, and she has to let go of all her insignia. So it is not a time to have an outside view on you, which had been already a theme during the lunar eclipse. It is not about an outside view on you. Purifying Garden is about, where do I have to purify my guilt, where I have to purify my shame, and where I have to purify with past from the past, and also where do I have to purify my values, how I see myself, how I value myself. Because with conviro mur and with Pluto and with vision quest and message, I would say we have to go on a vision quest to find out, who am I in my sacred feminine? What is the sacred feminine to me? And for me, this sacred feminine has first and foremost to do with celebrating the fact that you are in a body, that the body is not separated from the sacred. Carl Gustav Jung once said that Jesus represented enlightenment beyond the body, and that there will be something new coming, and that has to do with enlightenment inside the body. And I have painted this picture where I once had a vision where bodies were going into the earth and out of the earth, going into the earth and out of the earth, and that it is like an eternal cycle, and that the manifestation or the material world is an aspect of the divine, and that the divine is not somewhere else, but that it is woven in between. So we are right here, right now, interconnected with this divine. And that might sound so completely gaga, but if we really respect this inner kingdom and celebrate this inner kingdom and see it as a sacred place and experience it as a sacred place, then it will change the way we step into the world, and it will change what we attract. I mean, the sacred feminine also has to do with, what do I attract into this life? Whether I am a woman, a man, or whatever I identify with. But the sacred feminine has to do with, what am I attracting into my life? And if I allow to feel the sacredness inside of me, the wholeness inside of me, the sacredness of being in a body, then that will change the way I relate and will change the world relates to me. So use this time to really find a new connection to your body and celebrate this new connection, and with purification let go of old shame and of old thoughts of hate against your body. On a very mundane level, do massages, go into the woods, embrace a tree, and celebrate the physical world as a part of the divine, and that heaven is not above. It is actually woven in between everything. It is all the dimensions are parallel existent. And in the astrology, we have a similar journey. We have the journey with Venus and Pluto opposing the moon in Cancer. So it means that the next 3 months will be a time where we are very sensitive, and where, what it was also in my cards with past, where we will be, well, not only sentimental, but where we will reflect on the past. So I don't see that we start very fast into the new year, but we start slowly. I mean, we are in a Venus retrograde. In 2 or 3 weeks will be a Mercury retrograde. So we start with 2 personal planets being retrograde. So it is like a slow and reflective start for the new year. And my cards suggest, and also the astrology suggests, what I already said with the full moon, that it is not advised to go into this excessive mode, where there is a tendency or a danger to do that, but to go into our inner stillness and into this more reflective state of what are my true values, what do I have to transform, where do I tell myself these little white lies to have more harmony that maybe is not truthful, or where do I project my darkness onto others. All these are themes around this Yule and around these next 3 months. So it is a time for shadow work, and it is a time for shadow work in our relationships, and first and foremost how we relate to ourselves, and the way we are able to let go of shame and guilt and experience us that there is something sacred in us. Whatever we have to learn, wherever we fail, whatever we have to do better, wherever we have to improve, it doesn't take away that there is a sanctuary inside of us. And this winter solstice is an invitation to go into the sanctuary and to reflect on to what are my true values, where do I have to change the way I behave, and what do I really want to attract into my life. What I attract into my life, what I already said with the cards, depends on how I experience myself. Sometimes we pay a high price for a false harmony, for something where we also manipulate not only others into, but where we also manipulate ourselves into. So with Pluto, it is a time of truth, and it is a time of being courageous and ripping away our masks. And I mean, the moon is in a trine to Neptune, so I think we are able to connect to this divine sanctuary, and we are able to get messages from these other dimensions that are interwoven with our body, and out of these dimensions we are able to heal. I mean, we have Mars in a trine to Chiron, so we are able to heal our expression, what we want. We are able to heal also the masculine aspect of us, the aspect that is acting out in this world. We are able through these times to heal that. This Venus retrograde is also a time where, if we take it serious, if we take the opportunity of this Venus retrograde, we are able to heal also the masculine aspect with Mars trining Chiron. So it is not only that we heal one part of us, but it is all connected. We also will heal the masculine part in us. And Chiron is in a square to the sun, so it is not easy for us. Again, it is not a time to shine. It is not a time so much to act out, because we feel quite wounded. And I feel like we start in this new year, or in this ending year, and into this new year, into this new cycle of life with Yule, with the Light King. We start into this new cycle of life very sensitive. We feel very easily hurt, and we should take that serious and be respectful with that part and protect that part. So I don't see that the next 3 months are a time to really be active. It is more a time, especially January and February, they are more months where we are in the stillness, where we allow ourselves to heal and to trust that this inner healing will have a natural expression in this world. We have to trust Moon trining Neptune. We have to trust that the invisible world and the visible world are interconnected, and that what is our inner work will immediately have an impact on the outer world. Sometimes it takes a little bit time that it manifests, but it is already happening. It is interwoven. So it is not an easy time with Venus Pluto, but it is a very magical time, and it is a magical time of profound change, as was also in my card, a time of true purification. And there is a possibility to change a lot in us and in our relationships, and the best way to change it is to change it through awareness. I mean, with Pluto Venus opposing Moon, it is very likely that we will get triggered, or that we trigger others, and it is a danger to manipulate out of fear. With Pluto we have a tendency not to trust life and not to trust love, and that's why I say it is the best advice to connect to your inner sanctuary and to feel the love and the sacredness inside you, because if you're able to feel that, it is less likely that you are manipulating others, or that others are able to manipulate you. And then the positive side of Pluto comes into place, and that is that you are able to see through the veils of illusions, that you are able to see as it is, and out of that changing it, and out of the power that Pluto gives. It sounds contradictory, but because you are able to see the truth, because you are so free, so sovereign, that whatever it means, I will look at it and I'm not afraid, and I know that true love will prevail. This gives power. So it is in the end, this underworld journey that we are going through now is in the end a journey of empowerment. It is not an easy journey the next 3 months, but it is a journey of empowerment. And I would say love is the end of all pain, and awareness is love in action. So the next 3 months are calling you more than ever. I mean, it's always advised to be aware, but the next 3 months are really an invitation to be aware. Or as Tara Brach once said, paying attention is the most profound expression of love. So I hope this was helpful. I wish you a wonderful and magical winter solstice and Christmas, and till next year, namaste.